Okay, let's get into some nostalgia news. Just
Guys, I'm sorry, but I just started recording.
just now?
Yeah, I don't know why. I blinked out a little bit.
All right.
This is another man's nostalgia with John.
Yeah,
I actually recorded some of the things that I liked because I was
Man,
I was
John is gung ho.
because I said it. Yes.
4:30 p.m. I laughed at another Ryan Reynolds joke. I love this show so much.
Yeah, that's fine.
P.S. I'm really happy right now.
Chris
Thank you for the 2 points, you jerks.
Wow.
and Justin.
Justin, I don't think your mic's on, dude.
It's on.
So either flip your mic around.
That's how I have my
Turn it-
mic all the time. The same way it is every time.
I have not changed it.
Oh, look at
Oh,
that.
you sound a lot better.
You sound so much better.
It was the same way it is all the time.
So if you hear Justin sounds a lot better now, that's because he adjusted his mic.
The episode starts now.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Man's Nostalgia, where John cannot remember to hit the record button, and we revisit everybody's favorite games, movies, and TV shows.
Yeah. Yes, we asked if everybody was ready. Everybody said yes, and then we started, and then 5 minutes in, John said
I don't know
he
what
was
you're
not
talking
recording.
about.
All right. Let's start with some nostalgia news. This is where we got
Yeah.
last time. John, are you recording?
I'm recording. We
Okay,
can
all right.
start nostalgia news now.
Okay, go ahead and start recording.
So I guess I have a couple things. I'm sure Justin has some stuff to talk about.
I have absolutely nothing.
Oh, okay.
Oh, there you go.
There you go. Should I start off with the most ridiculous thing first, or should I save that for the end?
Save
Do
that
whattever
for
you
the end.
want.
Let's
I really don't
Save it
care.
for the end.
What'd you say, Chris?
Save it for the end. Let's save it for the
Save
end.
for the end. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, today, I guess, this is kind of gonna date when we're recording this, but today Shrek came out 20 years ago.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
This is like the Shrek anniversary of when it actually came out, and a really big article came out about I guess how ridiculous this movie was, the pitch of it was gonna be, and
Yeah.
we actually did Shrek on the
We did.
podcast. I don't know what episode it is, but I know we did Shrek.
We'll look it up.
And I just the article came out just how ridiculous the pitch was and the idea of Shrek, and I just thought that was really funny. That
That's
this
really
is
cool.
the anniversary of it's 20 years ago. That's crazy.
That's
That's
crazy.
crazy.
What a great
It's-
movie. It's
I mean, it's such a great movie,
so
and it's almost like a classic. All
Yeah,
the
it
other
is.
ones
I
that
would
came
say
out
so.
after this, I guess Shrek 2 and Shrek 3 was okay, but
yeah.
the first Shrek was definitely one of my favorite movies, especially
Absolutely.
anime movies when I was little of all time.
Mhm.
It's great.
Yeah,
it's,
it
cla-
is,
It's a
if
classic,
you guys
in my
want to-
opinion.
If you're able to re-listen, it's season 4, episode 5. And it was your movie, John. So it is.
Was
your,
it my
is a
movie?
classic.
Oh, that's
it was.
that's why I think Shrek's amazing.
And we gave it an A-OK. We liked it. So there you go. No, it's a good movie.
Another thing that came out, it was either today or a couple days ago. I guess in the world of sports, Derek Jeter is about to come out with a documentary of his entire career. It's gonna be a 6-parter of all that. So it's
called
gonna be
The Captain.
It's gonna be called The Captain. Yeah. So
Sounds pretty
he
good.
started his
What's it
career
coming
in
out on?
1995. It's gonna come out in
Uh-huh.
2022. They don't have a specific month or anything, but it's gonna come out next year.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
they're starting to film now. About I
Gotcha.
guess his interview process and everything. It's gonna probably be like the Dream. What was it called?
Gotcha.
The Bulls. Documentary.
The Last Dance.
The Last Dance. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm thinking it's gonna be pretty similar to that. Star Wars has been coming out with a lot of content. Yeah, so Bad Batch. Have you guys seen the other stuff that's been coming out, like Star Wars Biome and the vehicle fly-throughs?
No.
So they're trying to make Star Wars more of a realistic, I guess, world. And
Which is what you want.
the man what?
Just kidding. Which is what you want out of Star Wars. Make it realistic. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
So
I
they've been
want
coming out with,
real
like,
laser blades.
It's weird. They've been coming out with like these documentary type of like things that go through specific, I guess, vehicles. Like they went through the Millennium Falcon. They went through like a Star Cruiser. They went through what are they called? Not a destroyer.
Some Star Wars fan you are.
Yeah, a destroyer, whatever. So they're like going through this, and they're like just like filming, I guess, like what they actually look like inside. And then on Star Wars Biome, it's like what the world would look like, just kind of like scenery type of thing.
Okay.
And then Bad Batch actually came out, which is kind of a spin-off of the Clone Wars. And yeah, so I don't know. It's a lot of, I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know how I feel about them just like doing almost like a documentary type of thing of something that's not real.
Yeah.
It sounds really boring.
See, that's what I would think. But apparently, like, a lot of people are asking for this. Like, and that's why they did it. A lot of people were asking for, like, hey, what does this vehicle look like on the inside? Like, what does this planet look like scenery-wise? Like, I don't understand.
Watch the fucking movie.
It's not surprising, but it does sound boring.
Freaking nerds. What's ridiculous? You said something ridiculous, and I've been waiting for that.
So, you guys know High School Musical, right?
Why are we talking about this?
You know, High School,
Here we go. Yes.
Hey, you guys
Yes,
remember
I
High
do.
School Musical?
Brothers Fight.
You guys High School.
Really into
hey,
this. Brothers
Chris,
Fight.
don't we have a High School Musical story that doesn't involve Justin?
Of course you do.
Me and Chris, we got invited to birthday
Justin was
party.
oh.
Justin,
I was
may
there.
have been
I helped you make the catchphrase.
I don't really remember.
It was a
Me
great
and Chris
birthday
got
party.
invited
It was
to a birthday party, and we made. And it was High School Musical 3, and we didn't really know why we got invited to this party. We were like the only boys there, so
Yeah.
I would like to
It was
reiterate
me and
I
you.
was there. It wasn't just Chris and
I don't
John.
remember
All three
you.
of us were hanging
Really?
out the whole time.
it was
This was our sophomore year.
okay. So me and Chris, we were like cracking up, laughing, and making
Justin-
fun of High School Musical 3, and because we thought it was the most ridiculous movie in the entire world.
It
We were
is.
just
We
cracking
did think
up
it was
laughing.
ridiculous.
And the birthday girl actually yelled at us because we
Yeah,
were
she got
like,
mad at us.
yeah, she got so mad at us. And it was funny
was
when
one of those,
when I first mentioned this story, because me and Chris, we thought it was hilarious. We probably will always remember like Chad.
Yeah. Chat.
Yes, we will always remember.
But it's so funny because when we first mentioned this story, Justin's like, I remember this. And we're like, how do you remember this? And Justin's like, I was there. And we're like, no, you weren't. I do not remember you being there. And Justin's like, no, I was there.
I was literally
That was
with
the
you
first-
the whole time.
I don't
was-
remember you. I'm sorry.
That was the brothers fight thing. I'm sorry.
That's where we came up with it.
Yes.
Kelsey told us what went down between you and Sharpay.
I'm more interested in what went down between me and you, man. I was a jerk.
Yeah,
But hey, brothers fight.
they're still brothers.
So wait, what about High School Musical though?
So the High School Musical came out with like a TV show. Do you guys ever remember that? It's
Yeah.
on Disney Plus and everything like that. Well, the
I
new
never
season just came out, and apparently, like, a lot of people don't like it. But I just thought it was funny because we would bring up that story again about not
Yes.
remembering
We'll bring it
Justin.
up. All right, Justin, this is your week, and it's also shout out to our Patreon Jordan who recommended this. So really, Justin's not getting any points for this. This is all going to our buddy Jordan, who's a Patreon member who recommended this movie for us. Justin, why don't you explain from your side of the view this story of how this came up after you tell us what movie we watched?
So, I was going to pick this movie. They claim that I was not, but I was
Rolling
going
my
to pick
eyes
this
right now.
movie.
'Cause
I don't know
that's
how
a
any of you can know
ridiculous
what's going
story.
in my brain.
It's a ridiculous story.
Sure.
So, Chris texted me, text everybody in the Pod Boys. That's what we call our text group.
Boys. With a Z.
Yeah, with a Z. And he was like,
Why'd
we
you
have
have to mention
somebody.
that? I don't know who came up with that, but why'd you have to mention that?
That was me.
It was just
But
good.
Chris texted texted us and said, "Hey, we have a Patreon recommendation, a Goofy movie." And I was like, "God damn it, that's mine." I was going to choose that movie, and that's really all that happened.
No,
and they're making
you
a bigger
said
deal
this.
than it is.
This is what you said. That was gonna be my next thing that I wanted.
That's what I just said. It was gonna be
No,
mine.
you said that you were gonna. That's what I was gonna choose it. Like that's what I. No,
That's
you didn't say it was
saying
gonna be
the
your
same
next
thing, John.
thing.
You're just twisting words.
No,
to make
you
it sound like
did
worse.
say, "Oh, funny you should mention that." I was gonna say that was gonna be my next movie I was gonna pick. I'm a
I
little low
was
on
like,
points this
really?
season.
Did not say that
The
at
very
all. All
next
right.
movie.
Anyway, the movie we're talking about is a Goofy movie.
If we listen to each other's heart, we're never too far apart. And maybe love is the reason why. For the first time ever, we're singing it eye to eye.
So, a little background
Okay.
for me. I didn't see this in theaters. I think it came out.
Did
I
it
can't-
even come out?
For some reason, I don't have it in front of me right now. But it
you
came
did
out when I was like
I'm
5.
professional right now. If you don't have it right up in front of you,
So-
that's all I'm saying.
Anyways, I had
Jordan would have the fun facts if he was doing this movie.
Jordan can do it. I don't care.
If the Patreon member was doing it, he would be so on top of this right now.
Y'all are really making fun of me for something that I would be okay with if I didn't have to sit here and do this. So it's just bouncing off of me.
Okay, go ahead, Justin.
So
Do it.
it came out in theaters in '95. So
Okay.
I was
five.
4.
I was
It came
five.
out April 7th, so I was 4. I didn't go to the movies
Yeah.
at 4. First movie I saw in theaters was Toy Story. So
Nice.
You
I
didn't
saw
drive
this.
To the movies at 4.
I probably rented it or something. I'm sure I did. I think I thought when I was 6 or 7.
from the
so-
Blockbuster.
Yeah, probably at the
Yes, probably so.
Blockbuster. And I loved it when I was a kid. It wasn't like a top movie for me, but anytime I saw that come up, I was like, man, I really like that movie. Like, it was a really good movie. It didn't really stick with me as much as others, but I always liked it. The problem was, and I'll get into this later, is Disney did nothing with it for the longest time.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear about that.
Yeah, so other than that, it's not really that interesting. I liked it as a kid. It went away for a while, and then I rediscovered it, and we're doing this now.
I didn't want to take any notes off this movie because I just kind of wanted to wing it. So when
Like
it comes
me?
to the points, I can be very persuaded because I have no idea what I'm going to give this.
Okay.
So you're pulling a
Did
me.
you watch this when you were little? Did you watch
I did watch this when I was little. Like I remember really liking this movie because I was just like, Max is so cool. I want to be
Sure.
Max when I get older.
He is pretty cool, isn't he?
And get a
Pretty
Roxanne.
cool guy.
We all want to
and get a
Roxanne.
Roxanne. God, like that song, man.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think I ever seen this. I thought I had, but then like, had y'all seen the sequel of this?
Apparently,
extremely goofy
I never
movie?
saw it.
Yeah.
But I've heard it's
Yeah.
better actually.
I actually remember him skateboarding a lot, and he only skateboarded all of this movie. So I think I've seen something else that's not this. So I don't
Probably
think I'd seen
Goof
this
Troop.
movie before.
Rocket Power.
Well, the other movie's called Extreme, and it has a picture of him skateboarding.
you saw
his name's
you saw Rocket Power. You saw Rocket Power.
Maybe
You,
so.
you might have it might have been from Goof Troop.
I want to hear about Goof Troop because I think that's an interesting story, right? Part of this.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. So okay, we have a good mix then.
I had some questions about
Um,
this movie too before you gave any fun facts. Does this take place in like the Mickey Mouse universe? Like I don't even know if Mickey Mouse has a universe.
It's the Goof Troop universe, but it's not the Goof Troop universe.
That doesn't make any
Well,
sense.
even more confusing.
That
So what
doesn't
is
make
the
any
Goof
sense.
Troop?
Because
It's-
Donald Duck got mentioned, and that's why I had this
Yes,
question.
And Mickey
So-
was in it.
There's not really a universe per se. It's just a goofy movie. That's
just the
literally
characters. It's just the characters.
it's the characters. There's some based off the TV show, but there's some big differences.
But what
even
is the Goof
within it.
Troop? You would you fun facts?
The real question is, who would have sex with Goofy to make Max? That's the real question.
All right.
Well, they hint to the fact that there's a good chance Goofy looked like Max when he was younger, and then turned into Goofy, which is even more haunting. In a way. All right, let's do plot before we get into fun facts.
All right,
You do it, Johnny.
let's see.
Or
No,
you pick.
let's do you, Chris. Let's do you.
Okay, you got Max. What's your last name? Goof. Max Goof. Is the name?
Yeah, pretty.
call him
Yeah,
Goofs.
I think it's just
Yeah.
Max.
He is
Maximilian.
a high schooler.
Oh, it is Goof.
Who's
Sorry,
Goof?
it is Goof.
Max Goof. He's a high schooler who is scared of kind of becoming like his dad. He has a crush on someone named Roxanne, so he decides during a school presentation he's gonna dress.
Roxanne.
Yeah, he dresses up like the famous pop star at the time, which is Powerline, who's I guess Prince. That was saying right? Based off
It's a
Prince?
mix. I'll talk about it.
Okay, cool. And then he dances like him and stuff. He will think that I guess he will think that it's him. I don't really know what the whole thing was, but then he tries to kiss her, and then he gets caught, and then she invites him to a party to go to that weekend. Classic high school story. But his dad wants to go on a road trip with him because he's worried that he's going to get the electric chair someday.
Yeah.
So he promises the girl that the reason he can't go on a date with her is because he's going to be in the Powerline. He's going to go on stage with Powerline, bold claim, in L.A.
We'll
And
talk
so
about
him
that.
him and his dad take a trip across L.A. They bond, and then at the end they get on stage with Powerline, and the girl loves him because she didn't lie to him. He didn't lie to her. So that's the story.
Which he did lie to her. He just turned.
He did lie to
his
her.
lie turned out to
Turned
be
out to
true.
okay. Yeah.
I don't think that's ever happened to
that's
me.
the story.
Where I've lied to someone and the lie turned out to be true. I don't think that situation's ever happened to me.
Well, that worked out.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah, that's basically
All
the
right.
story. It's pretty quick 80-minute movie.
Yeah, good. It's a good short movie.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about.
I have something to talk about when it comes to how short the movie is.
Okay, let's do fun facts first. Then we'll do plots.
Okay.
We'll
All right, so let's talk about Goof Troop first, because that's where this kind of began. So Goof Troop, it was started on the Disney Channel. It was also on ABC in their little cartoon spot. It only lasted really a year. So the original release was only 2 months.
I'm trying to remember what Goof Troop was.
Basically, it was Goofy and his neighbor, and they were getting into hijinks.
And his neighbor was the friend's dad.
Yeah,
right?
it's Pete.
Pete. Okay.
Yeah, it's Pete.
And then Max is a character in Goof Troop.
Yeah, they're all characters. Most of them are characters in Goof Troop, except a lot of the friends besides PJ. PJ's in it. Roxanne's not a character. Her friend's not a character. Everybody else is original. But Pete, PJ,
Okay,
Goof, and Max are all from Goof Troop. The original thought was this to be a direct-to-video sequel or direct-to-video kind of extended episode.
I'm surprised that
Okay.
it was in theaters. I don't remember it being. I mean, I was 5, but
Yeah, it didn't do all that great.
okay.
Okay.
We'll talk about it in just a second and why. But
Because it
So-
wasn't good.
well,
Nothing?
critics destroyed
I
it.
didn't say anything.
Critics
You
destroyed
said critics
it.
destroyed it.
Yeah, they didn't really like it, so not a lot of people went to the theaters because of it. You get me a little off
Interesting.
track here. I had the reason why.
It wasn't.
It
good.
came out because of some other movie. Some other movie was out at that point too.
A better
but-
one.
Yeah, more than likely. But can't find it right now. So they decided to make it a full movie. They aged him up a little bit, and the movie gained a pretty big cult following. It was a $15 million budget, and it made double that, basically $37 million.
That's awesome.
That's good. That's good for the whatever company that released this. Disney.
It was basically the only reason they released it was because Jeffrey Katzenberg, who was recently fired, Disney only did it because they had to, because of contracts. So they actually weren't going to release it. They didn't even want to do this movie, basically, in theaters.
So everything happened. They saw the movie. They're like, "Oh my god, we cannot show this movie." And then
No,
someone
I think they
higher
just
up
didn't
was like,
think it
no,
was-
we have to show this movie. And they're like, fuck.
I think I think their reason behind it was they did a lot of direct to video around this time. This was their big direct to video, and it just didn't. It wasn't like a Disney-ish movie like they were pushing out.
See, I
Because
feel
remember,
like
they don't really use the old Disney characters anymore.
Right.
I
So-
honestly thought that this was direct. If this was direct to video, that I feel like that makes sense. But to see that this was in a movie theater, like it doesn't feel like a movie theater movie.
Yeah,
I don't know what it is about the movie. It just doesn't feel like a movie theater movie to me.
Yeah.
I can't put my finger on it though.
So,
So
What are
uh,
you saying?
so a couple of other things before we start. So, did
I just wanna
anybody
start already?
did anybody figure out who what Bobby was, the guy with the cheese whose voice that was?
I saw it somewhere, so I'll see if just John can guess
I
it.
don't remember who that was, but I know the
guy
principal.
with the cheese.
The principal had a famous person that voiced him.
Yeah, Wallace Shawn. That was
Yeah.
Wallace Shawn. That was a guy from Princess Bride.
yeah.
Yeah.
The smart guy.
Rex from
And then you.
From Toy Story.
I don't know who voiced him, but I remember him being one of my favorite characters when I was little.
That was Pauly Shore.
Yeah, weird.
I don't know who Pauly Shore is.
So he was he was like the hot thing for a little bit in the 90s, early 90s as a comedian. He did Biodome. He did these stupid stoner movies basically. But he did something
He
really
definitely
stupid.
looked like a stoner in this movie.
Yeah, that's his character. That's all he does. So he kind of did a little. It was almost like a little power move in a way, a stupid move. Like he didn't want to be attached to the movie. He didn't want everything to be like around him because he thought they would market it around him, like Robin Williams in Aladdin.
Of course it would.
He said, "I want to be uncredited."
Oh my gosh.
What what kind of ego do you have?
Maybe they cut scenes out, but he was in like maybe 3 minutes of the movie.
There was
Yeah.
no cut scenes of him. That's all he
Wow.
did.
3 minutes of the movie, and he thought and he had the biggest ego to think that, oh my
Yeah.
god, my 3
Because
minutes
his popularity
is
was
gonna
going
shine
down.
more than anything in this movie. More than the possum scene. More than
Yeah, he.
Oh, the possum scene.
I was like, really? Pauly Shore wanted to go uncredited? Give me a fucking break.
Pauly Shore and Rob Williams are right on top of each other, really. Comedic value.
I mean, if you have that kind of ego, you kind of put yourself up with that pedestal. You
Yeah.
know? Robin Williams. I mean, he wasn't that big in the '90s, you know.
Yep,
Wasn't he?
it's true.
He was like no one.
So before we get into plot and stuff, real quick, I want to talk about the recent resurgence in the last 5 or 6 years of this movie because people our age were kind of wondering, hey, why can I not buy this? This was in the fabled Disney Vault. Basically, Disney used to only release their movies every now and then. It was a privilege to go out and buy the movie.
Guys, it's such a privilege to buy.
so stupid.
To buy the Goofy movie. It's such a
So
privilege.
there was only one instance of this let out on
I feel
Blu-ray.
so bougie to have owned the Goofy movie.
They only had one print of this on Blu-ray, and now that it's streaming, it's not a big deal. But it's only been released outside of video once on Blu-ray.
Really?
Do you think
And the
anyone
last
in
time-
the entire world has ever said, "Hey, I'm one of the only people to own this on Blu-ray"? The only people in the entire world to own this on Blu-ray.
So
you know this is super rare to find. You know this is a super rare thing to find.
probably,
Probably so. Is it still around?
I don't know.
Look
I
it
didn't
up.
really look into it very much.
I'm gonna look it up.
So the
The
biggest reason
DVD
why
is selling for $1 million.
the reason why this movie got a big resurgence is because they decided to do a panel at the D23 Expo in 2015
Oh, that's cool.
in Anaheim, and it was the number one attended panel of the whole conference.
Who else was at this conference? That's what I have to
George
say.
Lucas was being honored that day. I think they probably had some Avengers stuff going on too. It was the
Yeah.
biggest panel in the whole conference.
What
They
if
had
it
to
was
turn
like
people back.
what if this was like this? What if it was like we brought the Marvel into this same room and it was like right before the Goofy thing, Marvel was there, and then Marvel left, and then the people there just had to see the Goofy movie.
No, they had to kick people
Yes.
out because it was too big. They only could hold 500 and they had to
insane.
turn people away.
That's
insane.
Stupid.
So it's pretty crazy that so many people like this movie. They also had like the actors, voice actors come back, and then they had people like sing the songs too. So the voice actors for Max and Goofy sang the road trip song they sang.
Nice.
I can't remember the name of it, but they sang that together. So
Was it good? It's okay.
there's obviously a lot of love for this movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so
Okay.
let's go with plot.
Okay.
What'd y'all think?
There was parts of it that were very humbling when it came to like bringing family together, bringing a son and their father together. Like it,
Right.
at some points you're like, yeah, that's touching. I didn't feel like I could tell that it was touching, but I didn't feel anything towards it. Chris, did you?
No.
Did it like
But-
kind of like bring butterflies in your stomach? You're like, this is a good
No, but I
bonding
did-
moment type of thing.
I did laugh and enjoy more than I thought I would.
I laughed at some of the road trip stuff, and that was about it.
The only thing that got me like felt like a little sentimental, even though I'd never seen this movie, was the cereal spelling it out thing, or the soup spelling it out thing with the alphabet soup,
Yeah.
where it spelled out the thing. That was kind of cool. But the rest of it, I mean, not really. But so I guess like sentimentalness or any kind of like heartfeltness. No, I didn't really feel.
And
anything.
and that's what like kind of brings me to like these type of movies. Like Disney does a really good job, I feel like, of kind of like bringing those feelings that you had when you were a kid and you're an adult now, like kind of up. Like when it comes to Toy Story does a great job of that, bringing feelings that you had as a kid, bringing them back up, and you're like, oh my god, this is great. I haven't felt this in a long time, type of thing.
Right.
And I never felt this with this movie. Okay, so the thing I had to say about the time. So when it came to what is the singer called again?
Powerline.
Powerline. Okay, so like his whole entire, I guess, scene with Powerline and him going to the concert, I felt like it should have been longer. I felt like it should have been kind of drawn out a little bit. It happened within a span of like 7 minutes.
Yeah.
Like
It's
supposed to be the
a song,
climax of the
basically.
movie. It's supposed to be like him going to the concert, him like being seen, and he got on stage, that's what his goal was. He got on stage so fast and got to dance with Powerline and everything, and then everyone saw him on TV, and then it was like happy music and all that stuff, and everything happened so fast. And I felt like if it was drawn out a little bit more, if they would have a little bit more trouble like getting on stage and doing all that stuff, I felt like it would have been a little bit more. I felt like if you actually got to see Powerline and like talk other than sing, like them actually talk to him and everything like that, I felt like it would have been more. But that very end scene happened so fast, and I felt like that was like more of the climax of the movie. But after seeing that, and I was like, oh my god, that was like nothing. Like that was like, I felt like that end was stupid.
Oh. Okay. So what'd you give it?
When it comes to plot, I would give it a 2. I was very let down when it came to this movie. I thought it was going to give me a lot more feelings, a lot more of a sentimental thing. I thought it was gonna give me a lot more laughs. I didn't really laugh a lot. I laughed a couple times. The scene that I laughed at the most is when Goofy is like looking at the map, and then his car kind of veers off to the other lane.
Yeah.
And then Max freaks out and like has to turn the car to avoid a semi truck. I laughed at that. I thought that was really funny.
Dad, you're gonna get us killed. Why don't you just give me the map?
Oh, no thanks, son. Navigating's a big responsibility. Besides, you wouldn't want to spoil the big surprise.
But that was like the hardest thing that I laughed at. I thought everything else was kind of stupid. The possum scene, I remember loving that when I was a kid. I didn't really like it that much when I was now. I don't know. It just
My life's a living. Hello, little buddy. Who's your favorite possum? Don't touch me. Oh, why such a long face? You're so sad. I know. You need a big hug from Lester. Don't even think about it. See? Now you feel all good inside. Beat it, doofus.
it kind of let me down a little bit. I remember it being a lot different when I was a kid.
I love the possum scene still. I think that's
I
hilarious.
disagree. I like this movie a lot.
Really?
Well,
gorsh, John.
Okay. When it started, I was like, oh, this is gonna be kind of lame. But I really liked the two big stops they made, which was the possum scene and the Bigfoot scene. The Bigfoot scene I thought was the funniest part of the movie.
That was great.
Well, it's nice to know this thing's good for something.
I didn't laugh at the Bigfoot scene, but I did like it. I guess.
Yeah. I thought it was really funny, like him sleeping on the car. That's so ridiculous. I liked it more than I thought. I liked that it was short. Only I do agree with you. I do think that the concert was pretty much like they filled it all into a song, like them getting to the concert stage,
Yes.
and then getting on stage, and they try to cram the whole thing into like a 3-minute song. But I think that part was a little rushed. But I like that it was shorter because I think that the two stops they made on this road trip were really good, and the rest like were kind of like, if they would have made like one more that wasn't funny, I probably would have hated it. It was just enough to where I kind of liked it, so I give it a 4. I thought it was better.
Dang. Okay.
I would have given it a 4. I really like it.
Oh, there you go.
I think John. I think y'all have good criticism about the end. It was kind of built up, and it was just kind of the song's great, the dance scene's great.
The song was great. I'm not gonna
But
lie. I really,
it's just
the
kinda
song
like-
was my favorite part of the
I
movie.
kind of want to see Powerline a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know?
play a second song. Yeah.
Or
Speaking
just
of
at least
Powerline,
talk to him. Like you didn't get to know anything about Powerline other than he sings.
Yeah.
And that he's like a rock star.
well, here's a little bit about Powerline behind the scenes.
Let's hear it.
Who
So-
said that it was his favorite? Right? It was
Yeah, Prime from last week. Said that
Brian
he
from
loved
last
Powerline.
week said that this is his favorite character, and he wasn't even
Yeah.
in the movie really. Like he just sang a song. I
So
was
Chris got part of the
expecting
influence.
like to get to know the character and everything. I was like, oh, this is cool. This is like he says like it's his best character in animation. I'm like, I didn't even get to hear from him. What the hell?
I think he meant like it was like coolest. Like he's so like suave and cool looking that he's.
I mean,
awesome.
he is. His teeth
Yeah.
are great, I guess.
So Chris got
Team
half the
Powerline.
Chris got a third of the inspiration. It was Prince.
Okay.
There's two
Yeah,
more
okay.
inspirations for him.
Okay.
I think one
guess
should
so.
be really obvious.
Michael Jackson.
Michael Jackson.
Yeah.
And then you might not get the third.
Elvis. I don't know.
No,
Creed.
Elvis.
The lead singer of Creed.
No.
Is he a known star like in the 90s? Or
Yeah,
did he become
80s.
popular like, okay.
80s.
Married a very famous other singer and did a lot of drugs.
Ooh.
That's
80s
a
is kinda
but
hard to guess.
that's like every single rock star you just named.
No, they're pretty famous. It's a pretty famous drug couple.
Drug couple.
Couple. Oh.
It's the
God.
guy,
Alright.
obviously.
Drug
You want me to tell you?
Please tell us.
You're looking it up. It's Bobby Brown.
Oh. Okay.
Bobby Brown,
yeah.
huh? Okay.
Yeah. So
I
Bobby
can
Brown,
see
Tina
that.
Turner. Anybody?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Lots of coke.
Sure.
He was actually going to
Was
be
there a
the
scene that?
voice.
Is there a deleted scene of that? Oh, really?
He was
should
going to
be.
be the singer of Powerline, but
Really?
he was fired due to substance abuse issues.
It would have been great if Powerline was like, "Hey, Max, do you want to come in the back and do a power line with
I was
me?"
about to say, do you want? He would have been like, "Hey, Max, do you want to know why they call me Powderline?"
Let's do this line of powder together.
It was powder line.
It was Powderline, but they said that was too much for the kids.
The actual singer his name was Tevin Campbell.
Did he actually sing?
Oh.
He actually sang.
Yeah, he was the singer. He hasn't done much. He has an album.
I guess he only sang, so there was
Yeah.
no words.
Some
He
other
has an
cool
album?
Dumb
things.
question.
Some other cool things about Powerline is Prince was also involved in a way.
Okay.
They actually recorded all his songs at Prince's studio at Paisley Park.
Oh.
In
Oh, that's
his
pretty
personal
cool.
studio, and they needed backup singers. So Rosie Gaines, a member of Prince's group, actually sang the backup solos for Eye to Eye.
Oh,
So that's pretty cool. That
I like that. No, I
Prince
like
did
that.
that.
That's pretty cool.
So that
Yeah,
was
that's
the
really cool.
inspiration. He said, "Yeah, y'all can record at Paisley Park." I mean, that's pretty iconic. That's pretty cool.
yeah.
It's pretty cool. I don't like any of the other songs other than that song. But it's
He did
pretty
like
cool.
Stand Up, the one that he did at the high school.
Once you're watching every move that I make, you gotta believe that I got what Somebody's the only baby you see. Gonna stand out, do you know it's me?
Yeah. Wait,
That
what?
one,
Yeah,
that
that
was
was-
pretty good too.
The two Powerline songs were good. Their little songs they sang were terrible, I thought.
I like the road trip one where they began, where they were in the Goofy was going through the traffic and stuff. But yeah, the other ones were kind of very generic. Like,
Yeah, I
we're
was
going
gonna
to
say,
get out of
they-
summer school. Woo! Yeah.
So
It was,
I just looked
yeah,
up
it was
Tevin
two of
Campbell.
them, right?
Oh,
It was
go
one
ahead,
at the
John.
very beginning of the movie with them, I guess Goofy going, or Max going to summer, like going into summer. And then the road trip one, and then there wasn't another one, was there? I guess there was like a little possum one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought overall,
I had one more.
we'll talk about music at the end. We'll talk about that.
Okay.
But
I have more
so,
fun
yeah,
facts
no.
about Tevin Campbell, but I want to save them too when we talk about acting because I think this is kind of cool fun facts.
Okay.
Okay.
So
I guess
main characters, it's
Yeah.
Max and Goofy.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
I really liked Max when I was little. I really liked Max when I was little.
He's kind of a schmuck. He's kind of a jerk.
But I mean,
So-
if you think about it,
He's a standard.
if
high
your
school
dad
kid.
was Goofy, wouldn't you be that way?
yeah,
Yeah, okay, and
Right.
that's the thing that I was thinking. I was like, okay, so I gotta picture myself having Goofy as a father, which
Right.
would be fucking awful.
He's
Let's
meant to
all
be the straight
honest.
man to Goofy.
That would
That's the way
be
he's written.
Yeah.
That would be so terrible to have Goofy as a
Yeah.
father, and to fear, like I would always fear.
Yeah.
I love that
It's
beginning
turn
scene
into
where he
him.
turns into Goofy. Like his
Yeah.
teeth start getting big, he starts getting hairy.
Yeah. I love the laugh every time he laughed. Like, I thought that was always, yeah.
I would
You
if
might
I
not
was
care,
if I was Goofy's son, I would always fear that I was gonna turn into him. Like let's
Yeah.
I would always have that dream. Like it would be every
Yeah.
night.
Yeah.
So I like the aspect of like him trying not to turn into Goofy. Like that's like one of his main fears. I thought Max was pretty cool as a kid. I mean, it doesn't really hold up because I guess like the coolness now is not the coolness like it was back then in the 90s. But I thought Max was very relatable. Goofy was goofy. Like there's nothing else around it. Like Goofy was goofy. I'm gonna give it a 4. I really liked the main characters that they had in this movie. I thought.
Do y'all know who voices Max?
I really don't actually.
I do know.
James Marsden.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Do you remember the first couple the guy from that was Eric's best friend in early Boy Meets World episodes? We'll play a clip of him. Also, he's the cat in Hocus Pocus, the voice of the cat.
I didn't know that.
Chris?
That's weird.
I liked it both. I liked both of them. I liked Max. I think he's a really good actor. His voice acting was really good, and I think he's believable. And I liked Goofy. I don't know how like the history of like Goofy's voice acting, but I thought he was really solid and really funny in it.
It's probably because you're hearing Goofy's actor who normally does Goofy.
Yeah,
Bill
that's
Farmer.
what I mean. Like I don't know.
He actually
how
was
he
pretty
did it.
new. He was only 7 years into the Goofy job, but Goofy's had a lot of voice actors. It's not like Looney Tunes where they have like one forever. They usually trade off, but Bill Farmer's done Goofy since 1989, and that's the Goofy we've all heard.
I was about to say that's the Goofy that I know.
It's the only one you
know
know.
any Goofies that were like maybe in the 70s or 80s. I don't even know when Goofy was like a character when he was invented.
Yeah.
But no, I like his laugh. It's like an iconic laugh, and he can do it really well.
Yep.
I'm sure he did the laugh for Max when Max laughed too. I'm sure that wasn't the Max actor.
He's a little more hick sounding, which is really funny. I give this a 4. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, no.
The
I
two main
agree with
characters
y'all.
are really
The
solid.
two main
Yeah.
characters very strong.
I
really liked
might
them.
go 5.
Yeah.
I feel like
would
this is
teeter
almost a
between the
5.
two.
I'm gonna give it a 5 since I don't count.
Okay.
But man, I think the Max Goofy dynamic is great.
Yeah.
I think it's really funny. Like when Goofy walks in that morning, he's got like the towel up and everything.
Yeah.
He's like, "Oh, sorry, I forgot," and he like
Yeah, right.
closes it and knocks the door.
They're
Yeah,
very
yeah.
relatable. I don't know how they do it, but they're very relatable. Like when you were little, I just remember when I was little, I was like, God, I have a goofy dad. And I was like, I felt like my dad was goofy. Like you always feel like your parents are like kind of goofy characters.
Yeah.
Like, they're goofy people.
Yeah.
And you're like, wow, like they're so lame type of thing.
So lame. Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
when, like I felt like I always was Max. Like I always related to Max. And I feel like Max is like just a really, really relative character where he just, you always think your parents are lame.
Yep.
Before we go to side characters, the secondary characters, supporting characters, I want to talk about Pete a little bit.
Okay.
Because he weirded me out in this movie, and I had some questions. I want to see if y'all caught this.
I know the voice of him, and he's incredible.
So it's Jim Cummings. He does the voice.
Yeah. Oh no, I think it's somebody else, not Pete. Sorry, go ahead.
Are you talking?
Pete's the dad, right?
Pete's
Pete's
like,
the dad.
Yeah.
The dad. Okay, sorry. Go ahead.
He's the fat
Yeah.
dad.
So, are you talking about PJ, who is Rob Paulson?
It's not PJ. Bob Paulson. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So, here's some questions I have. First of all, both him and Goofy work at a photo studio, like in a mall. Now, in the show Goof Troop, he was a used car salesman. How in the
makes
hell?
sense. Which makes sense.
How in the hell does he have a huge RV with a
the boss.
bowling alley
He's
on
the boss.
top of it as a
He said-
photographer?
He said he was the boss of whatever was going on.
He must own it.
He owns the business.
I think that's a bunch of bullshit. and
He's a
it's
drug
just
dealer
It's
on the
bad.
side.
It's bad writing, and it gives side characters a 0 for me.
Seriously?
No, but and the other thing was when they're in the hot tub.
They
Was anybody else
mentioned he's the
weirded out
boss,
when
though.
he got his creepy thong out, like
Yeah,
his
weird.
man speedo?
It didn't creep me out. What did creep me out was when Goofy and Max were in the hotel.
Oh yeah,
and
with
then
the aerial
Max
boobs.
Max turns on the light, and it's like a mermaid light when the boobs light up.
Yeah.
And then Goofy's like,
Yeah.
like this.
Made a
is
good
class.
choice.
Yeah, you made a good choice or something like that.
It was
And I
weird.
was like, what the hell? What is this? Like, this is a Disney movie. Goofy's supposed to be like a straight man. He's talking about
Yeah.
boobies over here.
So I just wanted to get that out there because this creepy speedo thong thing was weird, and
Yeah.
apparently Goofy can't afford an RV like he can.
Because Pete's the boss.
I think it's a bunch of bullshit.
He mentions
Bad
this.
writing.
Peach is the
All
boss.
right, so everybody else, I want to focus on Pete, PJ, Roxanne. That's really
Oh,
the only
God,
other side characters that are important.
Roxanne. I need to Google her.
All right, Chris, do our
No,
normal
funny
thing.
you say that. I just did
How
already.
quickly does it take to get to a weird picture
How,
of her?
how quick did it take to get
Okay, so
I feel like that's
I'd
like
to
a furry
report-
thing. I feel like she's
For-
in that community.
Yeah. For new listeners, every time that we talk about someone like this in a cartoon, we look up. All I typed in was the Goofy movie, Roxanne, and it takes how long we find weird pictures.
Because
So actually-
I learned about this the first season. I didn't know
Yeah.
people took and drew weird, sexy pictures of these cartoon girls.
I mean, you're turned
Yep.
on by something, you know? Everyone's turned on
And
by
it really
different
freaks
things.
me out. And I discovered something to myself. And I mean, I really didn't want to hear about that. So I learned the new word
it's
furry.
Roxanne's a little interesting. So, fourth person is cosplay, which that's its own thing. It's not anything really scandalous or anything. It's just somebody dressed up like her.
Yeah.
So she doesn't have a lot of pictures of her like fan art or anything, but a lot of the pictures up there are from the fantasy scene in the first scene, which is just as uncomfortable to me. A lot
It
of her
was a little
blowing a
bit
dandelion. A lot of her blowing a dandelion. That's like a lot of these pictures. It's just a lot of the blowing a dandelion.
Very weird. What did
I'll put up.
Go
I'll put
ahead.
up one of them. I'll put up one of them.
All right,
That's
so
funny.
let's start with Roxanne just real quick. She was pretty dumb if you really think about it.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't feel like she was dumb, did you?
Who? Okay, I'm sorry. I maybe I'm giving a little too much, credit. Ugh. But
Oh,
who in their right
man.
mind?
How
Who in
can
their
you
right
think those-
mind would believe
Justin,
somebody
Justin,
knows power line?
How can you think those eyes are dumb? Look at that. Look at those eyes. Look at that smile. Oh my
Maybe
God.
Gollum
That little side
is
right
better.
here.
But didn't y'all think it was really dumb for her to think that he would show up to that concert?
No,
Like it was
Yeah,
so
but-
important.
I didn't think it was dumb. I mean, if someone you're dating in high school told you, "Hey, I'm going to a concert.
But they weren't dating.
I'm
They
about to
just-
go on stage."
They just were going to a party. Why not just say, I know there's conflict in a movie. I get this. I'm not, I get the whole thing that there needs to be a conflict. But why not just say, I got my crazy dad over here. Look at him. I got to go on the fishing
Right.
trip with him. I'm sorry we can't go to a party together. Let's hang out when we get back.
You're talking
You know,
about main
right.
characters. We're not talking about main characters right now. We're talking about minor characters.
I'm just saying that's what should have happened. Because I literally wrote right here on my phone, Roxanne, why you so dumb?
Why you so dumb, huh? Why you so dumb?
Other than
I
that, she was
mean-
just kind of meh.
I didn't think.
Yeah,
I
I
didn't
mean-
think she was dumb. I didn't think she was.
I thought it
dumb.
was a surprise. I think PJ and Pete are like really worth waiting on, but the other ones like they were only in for like 10 minutes and they were gone. Like as soon as they left for their road trip, like Roxanne and
You like
like,
the cheese whiz guy?
yeah, that's weird. I thought he was gonna be in it more. I remember him a lot, like growing up, like seeing the videos of
I like
him.
the principal.
I thought he
The
gonna be in
principal
it
was
more.
kind of funny.
Yeah, I thought he was funny too, but he was like I said, he wasn't in it very much.
He's capital punishment, the electric chair.
yeah, yeah.
I was like, if a principal told me this, I would cuss him out. I'm not gonna lie. If they told me that my character was, if my son was going to go to jail,
yeah,
and going to go to the electric chair, I would be like, fuck you.
What principal in their right mind will put all the kids in one place the last day of school and bore them to death with a speech? You're asking
and then
for
leave
it.
this.
What did he say?
Unattended.
I think it's a good idea to have summer or science camps. What is?
Yeah, he was like,
You know, every year on the last day of school, I have several youngsters approach me and say, Principal Mazur, what can we do to not waste our summer vacation? We don't want to waste our free time sleeping or visiting friends.
I'm gonna give it a 3. The acting was good, but I didn't really like the characters that much on the minor characters.
I'm gonna
Is
give it
average.
a different score. I liked them a lot. I like Pete a lot.
Okay.
I felt like
Pete was great.
I like Pete was a really good sleazy like dad, and I like PJ a lot, like his son. I thought his son was.
"Oh man, Max, we can't do that."
I liked it. I thought it was funny. I like the Cheese Whiz guy. And I didn't mind Roxanne. I didn't feel like Roxanne was like a, oh, like I like him, like type of character. I felt like, I don't know. I felt like it was just like a character he was crushing.
They need to give her more screen time because I just thought she was kind of dumb.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know. I just felt like she was just like a typical. I just felt like she was a typical character. I don't know. I'm gonna give it a 4. I like the minor characters a lot, just as much as the main characters.
I would go with 3 just because Pete and PJ are great. Everything else is kind of meh. But Pete makes it better. Pete's always good. Yeah, he's pretty sleazy. Like, how you keeping PJ in line? Like, PJ's not gonna do anything wrong. Like,
right.
Why you gotta be that way? That whole hot tub scene with him and Goofy, I thought was one of the best scenes in the movie. Like,
It really was.
Goofy that's the most serious I ever saw Goofy in my life when I was a kid, and even now.
Yeah.
Like, I love my son. Like, he was so trusting of him.
See, that was my favorite scene of the whole entire movie.
Taking a break from the MTV generation, huh? Can't say it's a blame you. People are always putting too much water in these things. So, you and your son seem to be getting along just hunky-dory, huh?
Yeah, it's been great. You know, it's funny, but none of your techniques worked for me. Harder I tried, the worse it got. Once I eased up, things just clicked.
Oh, that's swell. So, no problems then, huh?
Not a one.
I just hate to be the bearer of bad news, but,
What is it, Pete?
your kid's duping you.
What do you mean?
Well, I heard the little mutant telling PJ that he changed the map, so you're heading straight to L.A., pal.
What?
Oh, you tried, Goof. He's just a bad kid, that's all.
I don't believe you.
What?
I don't believe you, Pete.
Well, hey, don't take my word for it. Check your map.
I don't need to check the map. I trust my son. You know, maybe Max isn't all the things that you think a son should be, but he loves me.
Hey, my son respects me.
Yeah.
Check the map, Goof.
And that's when I honestly started to feel something in the movie. Like any other moment in the movie, I didn't feel anything. That's the only part of the movie where I felt something. And that's why I'm like, this movie's not that great if I can only feel something within 15 minutes of the whole entire movie.
Well, your points aren't telling me the movie's not great. Points feel like you like it.
It's pretty good.
The plot
Pretty good.
sucked. It was a 2 for me. The characters are great.
Let's do acting, I guess. Voice acting.
Yeah, let's do acting. Yep.
I think the voice acting's top notch.
I kind of agree with you. I think this
I agree.
is honestly
I agree with
probably
that.
close to
I
a
agree
5.
with that too. I'll give it a 4.
This is a 5.
It's a 5. I think it's a 5. Yeah.
I'll give it.
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
pretty close.
It's great. You know, I think especially Max, because Goofy, the guy plays Goofy forever. He's gonna get Goofy perfect. But I think James Marsden as Max really hits it. Like, as somebody who's trying not to be his dad, and the hook and all that. I think it was.
Yeah.
I think that was probably Martin who did that. I think personally, because it didn't really sound like a Goofy one. It sounded like his version of it, but he got that whole laid back, I just want to be normal teenager kind of thing going the whole time.
He did.
It's a 5, I think.
I'll give it a 4.
Cool.
Right. What's next? I don't remember.
Next one is does it hold up?
No.
Really?
In my opinion,
I think it does.
Doesn't.
Go ahead. You go first, John.
So, I feel like a lot of the jokes were 90 jokes. I feel like a lot of, like, the way Max's character is set up, it's very 90s. So, if I'm watching, like, I lived through the 90s, so I understand, but if I'm watching this for the first time, I'm not going to find Max very relatable at all. I'm going to find him, like, really, no, I'm not. So, I'm going to give it a 2. I don't think it held up very much at all.
I disagree with that a little bit. I think that kind of transcends generations there.
And I don't feel
agree.
like Goofy's a relatable character if you don't know the character of Goofy.
Yeah. I highly disagree there. Everybody understands. It's in his fucking name, John. It's Goofy. I disagree with you there.
I disagree too, honestly. I thought this really holds up. I think this is a movie that could be watched 15 years from now and still make sense to everybody. I would give it a 4.
John, you literally talked about how everybody has goofy parents. And
They do have
Goofy is the
goofy
personification of a goofy parent.
Yes, but I'm
see?
trying to look at this when I've never seen this movie before. And if I saw this movie when I was a kid, like now, I would not feel like this movie is relatable at all. When it comes to the side character, when it comes to the music, when it comes to just the way that the character he's trying to act cool, quote unquote, and I don't feel like that's like cool nowadays. I don't feel like the way that he's like presenting himself as like this cool character, I don't feel like kids will relate to it now.
I completely disagree, just because all the cool characters in any old movie, everybody still thinks they're cool.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously it's not cool nowadays, but I think that kind of stuff transcends
they
time.
can see it as like, oh, this is a cool character.
I mean, come on, Ferris Bueller. Like, I'm not comparing this movie to Ferris Bueller's Days Off. I don't think they're in any way, in any margin similar in popularity and greatness. But Ferris Bueller is still cool today, and he was cool in the 80s. Like, that's a cool guy then. He's going to be a cool guy now.
I feel like if a teenager watched Ferris Bueller, they wouldn't think it was a great movie.
I completely disagree, because it's one of those, because we watched Ferris Bueller and we think it's a great movie.
It's true. It was out of our price. It was out of our range.
That's not our generation at all. That's Gen X.
We're smart.
We're millennials.
New kids are stupid.
We're the ones they were the people were waving their fists at. We like it.
That's right.
All right, I would give it a 5.
Okay.
I would not give it a 5. There's no way.
What's next? I don't remember.
No way. What did you give
Desire,
it, Chris? Did you give it a 4?
I get a 4. Yeah. I think it holds up. Desire to continue watching?
So there is an extremely goofy movie.
But here's the thing. I like the extremely goofy movie. I
apparently it's good.
That's apparently a better movie. Now, not pretend like you never seen it.
Right.
You're gonna get less points.
But that's what we're supposed to do, John. Just do it. Just have a bad opinion and move on.
One. I do not want to watch.
Wow.
If you're telling me that you want me to watch another thing that's exactly like this, I'm gonna give it a 1. But I know the Goofy movie, the extremely Goofy movie is great. I would have given it a 4. You would have got 3 extra points from me.
Well, I play by the rules, John. So
okay, well, a 1. I'm giving it a 1.
I would give it a 3. I think I would have given it a 4. The only thing that knocked it down for me a little bit was that it was a direct to DVD or a direct to video. If it was a release in video or movies, also I'd probably give it a 4 because I did like this one. But
it was released in videos.
Oh, it was?
Yeah.
Oh, the sequel was? Okay.
No, the sequel was a direct to video. This was direct.
No, that's
this
what I
was a
mean.
series.
That's what I mean. That's what I mean. If the sequel was also in the movie theaters, I'd probably given it a 4. But the fact that it was a direct to video, and those usually have a pretty bad track record of being a lot worse, I would have given it a 3.
That's a weird. All right, that's a weird.
No, it's not.
Stance to take, but all right.
Okay,
No, it's not. No, I completely agree with Chris to think this because that's a very accurate statement. When it comes to movies that like are in movie theaters and then like the next sequel is like direct to video, you're like,
think about
that.
I'm gonna
means
take
that
Disney.
it's
I'm
not
gonna
that great.
take Disney's route because I love the Aladdin sequels and stuff like that. So I'm gonna fight
like
you on
Lion
that
King and Pocahontas. All those compare like Toy Story. The difference is very different.
But Pixar was not Disney back then, though.
Okay, well the other ones weren't good either. I mean, like I didn't like Lion King 2 or Pocahontas 2 or.
I didn't even know there was a Pocahontas too. What happened? Did they kill all the Indians? What happened? Revenge of the English.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, what's the last one?
Hey, honestly, did you guys ever watch the Aladdin or Tarzan like? Show?
Oh, I love the Aladdin sequels. I had
like
all
the
three of the
TV
movies.
show, not the sequels, the TV shows.
No.
Oh yeah, I watched the TV show too. I don't remember it very much. But
What
I
about
remember watching
Tarzan?
it.
Did you guys watch Tarzan?
I didn't know there was a Tarzan show.
I love them both, honestly. Like I really like them both. The Aladdin like TV show was a treat to me because I never really got to see it. Every single time it came on, I was like, "Oh, this is great! I get to see."
It's like a movie.
Aladdin. It's like a movie. It's like a little. It's like a little snack. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right, it's the last category, right?
Yep, your category.
All right, music, songs.
I'm torn because
So
I hate. So there's 2 of them I like and there's 2 of them I hate.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like
it's a
you
3.
feel like the same way. So
I do.
So it depends. How much do you hate the songs that you hate, and how much do you love the songs that you
I think
love?
it's just a 3, and we move on.
Here's my problem with it. Is that if you're gonna have, I get having the power line songs. That makes sense to me, right? They're trying to see a rock star. I don't know what the necessary of having their own songs in between. They have, if it was like 3 or 4 of them, that is
Yes.
like, oh wait, it's a musical, but they have 2 random songs thrown in there.
I
and
100%
don't understand why.
I 100% agree. If you're gonna have like a movie that's like a musical type of movie that has songs in it where they sing like what's happening, I feel like that's like a minimum of like 5.
Right, exactly.
And they're like 5 long songs. They're not like 5 like 30-second songs. They're like 5
Even
like
4.
2 to 3 minutes long.
Yeah, I think like Lion King had like 4 or 5, and that was a little bit longer of a movie. But like even 4 would be good. But having 2 random ones and then 2 pop songs are weird.
It was very weird. It was very
Yeah.
very weird. I didn't like it.
I didn't like it either.
It was very jarring.
You get a 2 from me. I like the Powerline songs. I don't like the other ones. They were terrible. I don't know why they were in there. If they were good or normal songs, like you would got a 3. But
God, I completely agree with that. No, I'm gonna give it a 2. I love the Powerline songs. They were great, but the reason why it wasn't average for me, it's because it wasn't. The Goofy movie's not considered like
having fun.
No. Okay, so like I don't even know what you would categorize like the Lion King type of movie that has songs within it. It's not a musical.
It's a musical.
But it is.
Is it a musical? Is that what you would categorize that?
Yeah, it's a musical. Disney musical.
Okay.
They call it like an animated musical. Yeah.
So like Aladdin would be like considered a musical.
I would say so.
Like
Yeah.
I guess the Beauty and the Beast, like all these Disney songs are considered musical. I would not consider the Goofy movie a musical though. Like, would you?
Technically, it is.
But I wouldn't
I throw
consider
it-
it because they're terrible.
It's almost the same amount of songs, but it gets thrown off because 2 of them are supposed to be like a pop star song, not like here's my life, here's what's happening in my life, like they usually are. So it felt weird.
I don't know. It did
This is
feel
a solid
really,
3, and
it
y'all
did feel
suck.
really weird. It did feel really weird.
Yeah.
No,
But you know what?
completely
You
agree
did
with that.
you did really well, Justin. I'm not gonna lie to you.
You know,
did
for
pretty
not
good. You
for
guys-
hating apparently hating
I
this
love the
movie,
characters.
John gave me some good chunk of points.
I love the characters. I hate the movie though.
Such an
It's had as
odd
much-
stance he
I
has.
hate
on
the
this movie.
music. I hate the movie. I hate like the plot of the movie, but I love the characters, and that's like what got it for you with me. That's
Yeah.
if there was like one less like terrible character. See that, and that was the
Did
thing.
this put me in the lead? I'm hoping
I
you
couldn't
did.
find like a terrible character that I could like just like hate, and I couldn't find that.
This had the same amount of points as Hercules, which I think is funny.
Justin had Hercules, didn't he?
He did. He did.
Okay.
I gotta go off Disney next time, apparently.
No, I thought they both were fine. I thought 22 is a good amount of points.
All right, what the hell is
All right.
next?
Okay.
Justin or John, why don't you tell us what's next?
So, there's been a
Apparently
lot
it's Star Wars
There's
something.
been a lot of Star Wars stuff that's come out lately, and
Yeah, all those biomes
Bad
and those
Batch
speeders.
is like a big deal.
Are we watching
And,
Star Wars biomes?
The Mandalorian has been has been a big deal. So watching, this came out, and so I guess it's a little bit ahead, because we do mid 2000s. But I watched this when I was. I did watch this when I was, I guess, technically a kid still. Maybe I wasn't. I was 18. I was 18 when I watched this. But I thought it was
Nostalgia.
great.
He doesn't get to do this.
I thought it was great.
What is it?
We're going to do Star Wars The Clone Wars, the animated series.
The TV show?
The
Which
TV
one?
show.
The
TV
Cartoon
show.
Network
Not,
one?
Not the movie Clone Wars, but the TV
Okay.
show The Clone Wars.
Which one? There's two of them. Is it the one with the shorts, or the actual one with the 3D animation?
The 3D animation.
Okay.
Which I did watch.
Cool.
And
I've never seen it before.
I really enjoyed it. I thought so. This is
Okay.
canon when it comes to the Star Wars series. When it comes to Star Wars fans, a lot of them. I wouldn't say every single one of them, but a lot of them. The majority of them have watched this animated series, and some aspects of it are very dark, and some aspects of it are very kind of a little goofy, a little funny. So I think it's a really good mix between the two. I really enjoyed the first season, so we're gonna watch the whole entire first season.
Okay.
How many episodes is that?
21. It might be
Oh
23.
God.
Gosh.
It might be.
Oh,
it might be
God.
20. But okay, here's the
I'm
thing.
skipping some.
You're gonna enjoy it. You really are gonna enjoy it. Like it's a
That
really
makes me
good
think I'm
Star
gonna hate
Wars
it.
story.
All right, John, where can you find us? Let's get out of here.
All right, you can find us on social media. And
I'm really hungry, John. Can you hurry this up?
I'm done. I'm done. No, you can find us on Another Man's Pod on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You can also find us at Another Man's Pod. Or I'm sorry, Another Man's Nostalgia on Twitter. We're on Twitter, or not Twitter. Twitch.
Twitch, sure, we're there
On
too.
Twitch. We're there.
Yeah, we're definitely doing stuff on there
We are.
every night.
Tune in right now. Just John's playing something right now.
Yeah. Turn in live.
Tune in.
Like, I'm playing.
That's right.
We also have a Patreon.
Oh yeah. Yeah, shout out again. Thank you, Jordan, for the Patreon, for the contribution, and we hope you'll like the Goofy movie. If you guys want to do one, just you guys gotta sign up for Patreon.
Yeah.
And I
that's
will
at
randomly
Another
say it
Man's
was
Nos-
mine, so I can take the points.
It's at Another Man's
That's right. If
Nostalgia.
it's good, Justin
right?
will say it says.
Another Man's Nostalgia. That's our Patreon.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So just go to Patreon, create an account. I think it's our least amount that you can give. It's like $2. It's not even a lot. And then we'll do your 90s or 2000s movie, and just like this one. So if you want to go do that, if you're a listener and you want to go do that, that would be great. That would help us out a lot. We're on YouTube. I've already said that, but we are on YouTube. If you would like to give us a like, if you're watching us on YouTube, we really appreciate it. But yeah, so it was really fun doing this this Patreon episode, even though it felt like Justin's. But shout out to
It was mine.
Shout out to our Patreon member. It wasn't yours, Justin. Stop trying to take this.
You guys will split the points.
Stop trying to take
You
this
both get
credit.
11 points. We'll see you next week with the Clone Wars season
Clone
1.
Wars, yeah. Star Wars
Peace.
Clone Wars.